Hey, future millionaires, welcome back to the channel. It's so good to see you all again. I hope you're crushing it today, no matter where you are around this amazing world of ours. All right, let's dive into XRP, shall we? So, I'm looking at the one-day chart right now, and we're sitting pretty at $2.39. Now, I know XRP is having a bit of a red day today, and I can already hear some of you panicking in the comments. But hold up. Before you start thinking the world is ending, let's put this into perspective. We're literally talking about an 18-cent drop from where we were just 2 days ago. 18 cents, people. And here's the thing, this isn't some shocking surprise. We actually saw this coming. I've been telling you guys that we could see a pullback right before those ETFs go live, and guess what? That's exactly what I think we're witnessing right now. So take a deep breath, grab your favorite drink, and let's break this down together. And hey, let's not forget about Bitcoin while we're at it. Bitcoin just dropped back down under that 13K mark. Yeah, I know. But here's something really interesting I want you to check out. Pull up Bitcoin's one-day chart, then pull up XRP's one-day chart right next to it. Go ahead, I'll wait. See that? They look like twins right now, almost identical movements. It's like they're holding hands and moving together. But here's the exciting part, and this is what I want you to remember. This dance isn't going to last forever. We are going to break free from Bitcoin's grip eventually. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And when that decoupling happens, well, that's when things are going to get really interesting for us XRP holders.
Now, here's something that's got me really excited, and it's super bullish for us. The House is actually voting today to finally end this crazy 42-day government shutdown. Mark your calendars, people. It's happening at 4 p.m. Eastern. And you know what this means? Once the government gets back to business, we're finally going to have clear, reliable data flowing again. No more guessing games. All that bearish uncertainty that's been hanging over the market like a dark cloud? Gone. I'm telling you, this could bring some serious stability back to the markets. And here's the million-dollar question. Are we going to see a pump when this happens? I mean, it's totally possible, right? Now, there's one little catch. Even if they approve reopening the government today, and I really hope they do, it might not actually happen until the beginning of next week. Come on, guys. They need to get this done ASAP. But honestly, I am so ready to see how crypto responds to this. It's going to be fascinating to watch, and I'll be right here breaking it all down for you as it unfolds.
All right, so I came across this really interesting take from Swan Capitalist, and I had to share it with you guys because it perfectly captures what we've been talking about. So here's what they're saying, and this makes total sense. XRP is going to keep riding this roller coaster as long as it's tied to all these debt-based speculative assets like Bitcoin. We're basically stuck in this correlation dance right now, but, and this is the exciting part, there's going to come a moment when XRP finally breaks free and says, you know what? I'm done following you around. That's when XRP establishes itself as its own independent powerhouse and starts absorbing the entire global financial system. Can you imagine that? Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Those ETFs we keep talking about, they could actually be the catalyst that triggers this decoupling. I mean, think about it. There's massive demand building up behind those XRP ETFs. But you know what I've always believed? I've always thought the real game changer would be utility. Once XRP's utility really kicks into high gear, once those real-world use cases start dominating, that's when we say goodbye to Bitcoin's influence forever. That's our Independence Day right there.
Okay, this is huge news, and I got this from Eleanor Tourette. Shout out to her for keeping us in the loop. So get this, Canary Funds just filed their Form 8A. Now, if you're wondering what that means, let me break it down for you. This is literally the final step before everything goes live at 5:30 p.m. Eastern today. We're talking about the last piece of the puzzle here, people. Here's how this plays out. Once NASDAQ gives their stamp of approval and certifies the listing, and that's happening today, we clear the final hurdle. And then what happens? The very first XRP Spot ETF launches Thursday morning right when the market opens. Now here's what has me really excited, and you should be too. The moment this ETF goes live, I think we're going to see some serious price action immediately. And why am I so confident about this? Because there's already a ton of institutional money just sitting there on the sidelines, waiting for their chance to jump into these ETFs. Think about it. All that pent-up demand just waiting for the green light. Thursday morning could be absolutely wild. And guys, this just got even more real. Bloomberg's chief ETF expert, we're talking about the authority on ETFs here, just confirmed what we've been hearing. They're saying Canary Capital's Spot XRP ETF could actually launch as early as this Thursday. When Bloomberg's top ETF guy weighs in, you know this is legit. This isn't just speculation anymore. We're looking at a very real timeline here. Wait, it gets even better. He's actually saying this could happen as soon as today. Can you believe that? And here's the thing. This isn't just about one ETF. This is going to be the first domino to fall. We've got a whole lineup of XRP ETFs ready to roll, and they're all planning to launch around the same time frame. So picture this domino effect with me. The first ETF goes live. Boom! Massive inflows start pouring in. Then the second one launches. Boom! Even more money flowing in. Then another one. Boom! You get the picture, right? It's like a chain reaction of institutional money flooding into XRP. And I'm telling you, this wave of back-to-back launches is going to be absolutely incredible for XRP's price as we head into the end of November. But it all kicks off this Thursday. That's when the magic starts happening. Future Millionaires.
All right, so I've got some interesting insights here from Yellow. And by the way, this is a company that Chris Lawson actually invested in, so they know their stuff. They're saying ETF approvals are coming Thursday, and they're asking the million-dollar question. Is this what's driving all the XRP price action we've been seeing? Here's their take, and this is fascinating. They believe the recent XRP price surge is happening because all these spot XRP ETF issuers are scrambling to get ready for launch. We're talking about the SEC removing their delay tactics, S1 filings flying in, and get this. The DTCC has listed up to 9 potential XRP tickers. 9. So what's happening? Smart investors are trying to get in early before the floodgates open. They want to be positioned before all that retail and institutional money comes pouring in with the ETF approvals around November 13th. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Most people thought we'd see XRP drop lower before the ETF pump kicks in, right? So a lot of folks are actually selling now, expecting to buy back in at even cheaper prices. But look at XRP right now. It's holding up like a champ, and I think I know why. While some people are selling and waiting, there's a whole other group of smart money buyers stepping in, positioning themselves ahead of these ETFs going live. It's like a tug-of-war, and the buyers are winning.
Popular Analyst says XRP is testing the faith of bulls. Eyes $10 to $37 targets. Okay, so people are still dropping some wild price predictions. And honestly, the bullish energy around XRP right now is absolutely electric. Here's a number that's going to blow your mind. At $37, we actually flip Bitcoin's market cap. Let that sink in for a second. $37. Now, if and when that happens, I think we're going to witness something absolutely historic. Bitcoin's reputation as the king, gone. Just like that. People will instantly lose faith in Bitcoin because it's no longer the #1 cryptocurrency. And here's where it gets really exciting. Imagine all that institutional money that's been parked in Bitcoin suddenly saying, you know what? We're done here. Where do you think that money goes? And all that retail money too? That's right. It's all flowing straight into XRP. Now, flipping Ethereum? Guys, I'm not even worried about that anymore. At this point, it feels like a done deal because XRP has been absolutely crushing both Bitcoin and Ethereum throughout this entire cycle. We're the performance king right now. If this momentum keeps up, and I think it will, we might finally break free from Bitcoin's grip once and for all. This could literally be the cycle we've been waiting for, the one that changes everything.
And then we've got this absolutely fascinating chart analysis. They're looking at XRP and saying, hold up, we've seen this movie before. So get this. They're comparing our current chart not just to the legendary 2017-2018 run, but also to the 2014 cycle. And guess what? The patterns are almost identical. No matter how you slice it, XRP's chart is screaming bullish right now. That's exactly why so many people are convinced we're about to see a repeat of that epic 2017-2018 run. But here's what I want you to remember, and this gives me chills every time I think about it. Back in 2017, the experts were only expecting XRP to hit 25 cents. 25 cents, people. What actually happened? XRP said, hold my beer, and rocketed above $3. Can you imagine? That's absolutely mind-blowing. So the big question is, will lightning strike twice? And if it does, if we see another run like that. We could be looking at well over 3 digits this time around. I'm talking $100, $200, maybe more. And you know what I always tell you guys? Nothing, and I mean nothing, surprises me when it comes to XRP anymore. Every single time people say, "Oh, that's impossible, XRP can't do that," what happens? XRP proves them wrong yet again. The lesson here? You never bet against this cryptocurrency. XRP has a habit of making believers out of doubters.
XRP may need a 24% dip before rallying to $6. Here is why $1.90 could be the best buy zone. So here's another interesting prediction. They think there's a chance XRP might dip down to that $1.90 support zone first, and then blast off to $6. Now, am I saying that's definitely going to happen? Honestly, I have no idea. Nobody does. And anyone who tells you they know for sure is probably lying to you. But here's what I do know. A lot of people are selling right now, thinking they're being super smart by trying to buy back in at cheaper prices before the ETFs launch. Classic move, right? But here's my take. I think these ETFs alone have enough firepower to push us way above $6. We might not even see that dip they're expecting. Could we hit price discovery mode by the end of this week? It's totally possible. The thing is, we have absolutely no idea what those institutional inflows are going to look like yet. We're flying blind here, which makes it both scary and exciting, and that's exactly why I'm still on the fence about some of these wild predictions. Like Jake Claver calling for $1,000 to $2,500 by the end of 2025. I mean, it's hard to wrap my head around numbers like that right now. But you know what? Once we see that institutional money start flooding in, everything becomes clearer. That's when we'll really understand what XRP is capable of in this cycle. Until then, we're all just making educated guesses. Brad and Bo Hines all in the same room. All right, so last night something pretty incredible happened. Official Canary brought together some of the absolute biggest names in digital assets and AI. We're talking about the real power players here. And they shared something that gave me chills. They said, 5 years ago, we made a commitment to a sector we truly believed in, crypto. And today, we're standing right at the center of that entire space. But here's what really caught my attention, and this is pure gold. They said, achieving big goals isn't just about having great insights or being super dedicated. Sure, those things matter, but what really sets successful firms apart is one thing: execution. And then they dropped this mic moment. That's where this firm truly stands apart. We execute. Guys, when you hear talk like this from the people who are actually moving mountains in the crypto space, you know we're in for something special. These aren't just empty words. These are the people who've been building the infrastructure that's going to take XRP and the entire crypto market to the next level.
And here's what really got my attention. Guess who was sitting at that table? Brad Garlinghouse. Our guy was right there in the mix. You know what this tells me? Brad always gets invited to these high-level conversations. He's always got a seat when the big decisions are being made. And that should tell you everything you need to know about what we're invested in. We're literally invested in the future. These power players see XRP as the solution to fix the US dollar crisis. They see it as the answer to the massive liquidity crisis that's about to hit the banks. And guys, most people have absolutely no idea how massive this actually is. Here's something that should keep you up at night. Basel III is coming in January. And when that hits, we could see banks crashing one after another. It's going to be brutal. Some people are even saying the government shutdown was intentional to get everything in place behind the scenes while nobody's watching. Now, do we know for sure if this connects to XRP implementation? Honestly, we don't. It's still speculation at this point. But here's what I do know for certain. And this is what gives me total confidence. XRP was literally built to do two specific things: move anything of value instantly, and provide on-demand liquidity exactly when it's needed. That's not by accident, future millionaires. That's by design.
But like I mentioned at the start of today's video, here we are with XRP sitting right around that $2.40 mark. So the big question everyone's asking, and I know you're thinking it too, is this the bottom? Are we about to see XRP bounce back up from here? Or do we still have further to fall? And you know what? I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. We really don't know. Nobody has a crystal ball here, and anyone who tells you they know exactly what's going to happen next is probably just guessing like the rest of us. But here's what I do know. Thursday, when that ETF goes live, I am absolutely pumped to see what happens to XRP's price.
It's going to be incredible to watch. And check this out. We're still making higher lows, one after another. That's a beautiful pattern right there. Most likely, we'll see the next higher low somewhere around this level. Now, do I think we're going back down to $1.99? Honestly, I just don't see it happening. I know a lot of people are praying for that dip so they can back up the truck and load up even more. Trust me, I get it. But we're just way too close to launch now. I think smart money is already quietly flowing into XRP ahead of that ETF going live. The early birds are getting positioned, and that's keeping us supported at these levels. So here's my advice until everything unfolds. Stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together, future millionaires. Alright, that's going to wrap up today's video. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I truly appreciate all the support. I'll catch you in the next one. And until then, have an awesome night.